Resolved. A government of laws and not a government of people. My colleagues and I on the farmers' side are on the resolution. This House, as the Ministry of Education, will shut down all the single-sex schools in a bid to fight homosexuality. Before I proceed, I'll first like to answer my colleagues' questions before I proceed with my points. She came here and said that they are going to introduce seminars and works in single-sex schools. She doesn't know the rate of bureaucracy in Uganda at this time. There's a very high rate of bureaucracy in Uganda. Let me give you an example. In 2001, President His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni set a national sexuality and educational framework as a sensitization of AIDS. This thing took 5 years to come into contact. It was only in 2008 when the rate of HIV reduced. It was due to the rate of bureaucracy. You can't put things and expect them to work immediately. By the time you begin on seminars and work, it will already be too late for us to stop homosexuality. Rejected. We, the farmers, suggest that it is better that we first close the single-sex schools. Since my coach told me, my boxing coach said once that when an opponent is hitting, he hits the weak point. We, the farmers, believe that the weak point is in the single-sex schools. This is because a survey was set on the 24th of January 2002.
POI.
Rejected. It was set by the Minister of Ethnics and Integrity, and it was found that 4 most prominent schools in Uganda had 30% of lesbianism and gayism in their classes, and most of the students accepted it. What is this? We can't accept bureaucracy in making things to work. It will take a long time. Granted.
Thank you so much, Honorable. What I would have to ask, do you determine what you're going to do because of the number of failures other people have encountered? No, it is a try and fail, but never fail to try. Secondly, what you are talking about, the Reverend Father Simon Lukudo, the State Minister for Ethics and Integrity, by then, in the investigation, he said that 30% of students in these actions were involved. The investigation was about all schools, irrespective of either single or mixed. They were all single and mixed schools. So
I'd like to give you a very simple say from Walt Disney. He said that the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. We are all on policies, things that are not going to work. We want to begin inflicting work, things that are going to work immediately. Closing our schools, closing the single-sex schools is the only way we are going to stop it immediately. It will not take the day after tomorrow. It will not take next year. No, it's going to begin immediately. We don't want bureaucracy. I would like to proceed with my points. Very many aristocrats in Uganda have written articles saying that homosexuality is taking roots in schools. There are many articles are written. According to Monitor, people are saying that at least 100 schools are tricked into teaching homosexuality. Let me give you an example. In 2003, there was an association that was created. It's called The World Stars With Me, a computer-based sexuality education curriculum. With it was a world population conduction and a Ugandan company, Schoolnet.Uganda, for distributing computers. But what were they doing? This curriculum was promoting homosexuality and masturbation as a healthy way of life. Is this acceptable? School.net of Uganda is a site of distributing computers to modern schools. Why were they teaching homosexuality and masturbation to students? Then yet the Ministry of Education came and distanced away from it. I'll try to rest my case.
It is now or never to fight for our future generation. If we don't rise up now and open our eyes, nothing will be done. The question is, are you ready to make decisions wisely or for the sake of the circumstance that you're in? Dear Honorables, I'm so privileged to be in front of you. My name is Baket Ranachibule Nul from Airforce Army Secondary School, and I'm the second negator in this debate. The Honorable from the Afamba side has come here giving us examples of HIV. My dear, we are talking about homosexuality. And this homosexuality, we are emphasizing that it is in single-sex schools. We are fighting for the generation. Please, members, wake up. And then the second thing, you are saying the things we are telling you are outdated. How are you sure? You have statistics about what is taking place in Uganda. You're here alleging, saying that schools are participating in homosexuality, single schools. Are you very sure of what you're saying? I'm here to correct you. That at least 100 schools have been found out in the instance of participating in homosexuality, but they are still under investigation. It does not mean that it is real. So please, my dear farmers, wake up. Honorables, my fellow honorable came here and told us very well, we are in restriction of the non-government organization. A very good example from NTV. In the recent news, it talked about Mufti Shaban Ramadan Muwajjeh was telling and warning the government on the way to engage religious leaders in this fight through borrowing information from the holy books. From the start, the holy books are condemning these acts. What are you on? You are in the real fact. You're saying you're burning down, you're shutting down single-sex schools. Are you aware that they were among the first 20 schools in Uganda? Please, my dear colleagues, let's be at par. And then I would like to emphasize that we are saying single-sex schools should not be banned. For this case, I will tell you this. If you tend to produce a lame child, do you tend to throw that child away because of the lameness? Find a way of grooming that child in the right way. Find a way of restricting, giving guidance. Counseling and guidance is the only way we can watch out in this situation. It's not by abolishing. We are talking about single-sex schools where the top prominent leaders are coming from to borrow information from Rwanda. Kagame, His Excellency Kagame is the president of Rwanda. He started from Intale Secondary School, which is a single-sex school. My dear colleagues, let's wake up. At this instance, we are saying in single-sex schools, despite all the disadvantages they are talking about, we are saying single-sex schools have few distractions for these students. That is why the solution is sensitizing these teachers through advising, through workshops, through seminars, so that we can bring them at par. If at all we enforce strict rules, these are our arguments to put it on key. To enforce strict rules, these strict rules will scare these people. Will you be ready to be arrested for 20 years just because of homosexuality? Will you enjoy that money that they are tending to give? Well, when will you enjoy it? When you're already old. So, my dear colleagues, I'm here to tell you that the right way to go is sensitizing the teachers to sensitize the students through their leaders to make a point in this resolution. We keep saying that single-sex schools should not be shut down in the fight of homosexuality. Thank you, our dear panel of judges, the audience. I remain Bakechurana Chibulenur from Airforce Army Secondary School.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.